As the Senate pushes for the business waiver list to be released, a new bill would require Governor Wolf to inform legislators directly in the event that he changes or modifies any regulations.
We've told you about the struggles of dairy farmers, so how about some triumphs?
And dozens of other states are starting to reopen. We'll have the details on their plans.
Now, live from your local news source, this is ABC27 News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Mark Hall. Alicia Richards is here as well. You're going to be hearing from her throughout the show. Thank you for joining us. Well, the rain is finally gone after causing flooding in some areas. Chief Meteorologist Eric Finkenbeiner joins us now with more details. Eric?
Yeah, ready to move forward, Mark. Getting rid of this day. You know, we started this morning at around 7 o'clock for some of us, not really ending until just a few short hours ago. What were streams now just looks like marshes, the Conococheague Creek in Willow Hill, northern Franklin County. We also have Brian sending this in. This is the yellow breaches over the banks. We do have still flooding going on at this time. Not quite as much on roads, but certainly some of our smaller streams, and we have lots of them. I want to show you the top rain amounts. Louisville and Perry County, 3 inches of rain, and that's where we're seeing some of the worst of the flooding. Over 2 inches for Elliotsburg, Biglerville, and Newport. Really just one band that slowly moved through the mid-state, and that was mainly across Adams, eastern Cumberland, eastern Perry, and Juniata counties. That's where we got the greatest amounts of rain, and that's where we're still dealing with some of the flooding issues right now. So some of the flood warnings currently for some of those creeks, one of them being Sherman's Creek. I'll show you that in just a second, but we still have just a few leftover showers. That is it. As we try to dry things out, looking across the Commonwealth Charter Academy, very still, so there will be some areas of fog. Meanwhile, that flooding is going to continue for some of us around Sherman's Creek. This is Shermansdale, 9-foot flood stage, and you can see currently at 11.3 mark. So we're going to be dealing with some of this flooding with the streams for the next couple of days. We do have nicer and drier weather to follow. We'll talk about it coming up.
All right, Eric, thank you. This is a look at flooding at Lupfers Grove Campground in Carroll Township, Perry County. The water almost completely covering the road, serving as a reminder to turn around and don't drown. And in Newport, this is what a viewer's backyard looks like. It's completely underwater due to flooding from a nearby creek.
Well, an audit is underway over how the state provides waivers during this pandemic. A waiver allows a business to be open right now. Alex Peterson joins us live from the state capitol tonight. Alex.
Well, Alicia, Republicans are largely upset. They want to know how and why some businesses were granted waivers to stay open and others were forced to close, which is why this new bill is pushing for more transparency from the Wolf administration.
These decisions that were made were the difference between which businesses in some cases survived and which businesses will never open back up again.
A harsh but true reality, says Republican State Rep Andrew Lewis. His House Bill 2415 passed the House Tuesday.
Which requires the governor, if he's going to modify, change, or issue a waiver to a statute or regulation, to notify the legislature.
Lewis says his bill goes hand in hand with the audit of the waiver program.
When these powers are being used, the public deserves to know what decisions are being made and why.
Thursday, Governor Wolf welcomed criticism of his administration's response.
We tried to do the right thing. Were some mistakes made? Maybe. And if they were, then the folks in Pennsylvania have every right to know about that. And I think the Auditor General is in a really good position to determine whether that in fact happens.
We're not pointing the finger at anybody.
State Senator Mike Regan echoing those calls for transparency.
This process, as it went forward, was an absolute disaster.
I want to make sure that if he's going to enact a change in law or regulation that should go through the legislative process, that he's notifying the legislature.
Now, this bill next heads to the Senate for approval there. If adopted by Governor Wolf, he would have to inform both the House and Senate leadership if he makes any changes to any regulations. Now, the Senate has set a May 8th deadline for Governor Wolf to comply with their subpoena process and their order related to that waiver program. So stay tuned. Live tonight in Harrisburg, Alex Peterson, ABC 27 News.
Alex, thank you. Well, Pennsylvania has more than 45,700 coronavirus cases. Nearly 1,400 new positive tests were announced earlier today, and there are nearly 2,300 deaths, with 97 new ones reported in the last 24 hours. Here in the mid-state, We have nearly 4,600 cases and 175 deaths.
We're expecting to learn more tomorrow about which regions of our state can begin to reopen and when. As things begin to reopen, the State Department of Health is preparing for a possible spike in cases. That includes providing more protective gear to nursing homes and long-term care facilities. The department also suggests hospitals test more people if they can.
We're recommending that they test those asymptomatic people. By definition, they're asymptomatic because they're going to be having a procedure in several days. And that will actually be very, very useful in terms of our surveillance.
Also happening tomorrow, some outdoor recreational activities can resume, such as golfing and camping. Construction can also start up again.
And more than half of the U.S. will partially reopen by the weekend. Texas is allowing restaurants and retail to open at 25% capacity. Haircuts are allowed in Wyoming. Oklahoma is opening its gyms and movie theaters. And in California, the plan's still being worked out, but one thing's for sure, no beaches.
If we can get some framework and guidelines to get this right, we can reopen very, very quickly. But we gotta make sure we can get this right.
Well, out of the 31 states reopening, none appear to be meeting the White House's guidelines that call for a downward trajectory of cases within a 14-day period. But it's the economy that's pushing these plans forward. And right now, more than 30 million Americans are out of work, and 3 million filed for unemployment last week alone.
New at 11, dairy farmers across Pennsylvania are choosing to see their glasses of milk as half full through a new campaign sponsored by the Center of Dairy Excellence. Sarah Gisrael reports.
Farming has never been for the faint of heart, but it is for those with big hearts. 2020 started off promising for the dairy industry, but COVID-19 has taken its toll. However, it's going to take a lot more than milk dumping to get these farmers to give up. A picture's worth 1,000 words, but these farmers only need a few.
I don't want to look and see, wow, I came into an industry that's failing, and I think that these signs helped kind of put something out there, like campaigning for our industry.
The campaign is simple, spreading hope through photos and signs, a sign of the COVID-19 times.
I think everybody's feeling it. I think it's just how you roll with it as to how it goes.
Joy Waterman's family farm has been going steady for 50 years. She says empty shelves at the grocery stores have been a souring sight.
It's not really the farmers that aren't putting it there. It's that all the middle people are having trouble keeping people in their offices or in their businesses to keep things stocked.
Holly Musser is about to graduate and start her dairy farming destiny full time.
3 months ago, I was sitting in a classroom and we were hearing that there was projections of $20 milk, and I was so excited about it.
Her excitement curdled, but her determination as strong as calcium, and she's not alone.
It all comes down to the fact that this is what I love and this is what I want to do.
We're still here. We're still doing what we need to do to take care of you. I mean, I tell you, every farmer, it's their goal to not only feed their families, but they love feeding your family.
It's a labor of love and lactate that they're proud to share with the world if you'll let them.
Keep buying the products because we want them to know that we care about everybody.
I don't really want them just to support my farm. I want them to go to the stores and just buy dairy products, any kind of dairy products, because we're all in this together. We're all working hard.
For ABC27 News, I'm Sarah Gisrael.
Harrisburg's mayor says the city is prepared to handle the economic impact of COVID-19. Eric Pappenfuss says the city has millions of dollars in reserve and is up to date on all its bills. While he's not worried about this year, he is concerned if this lingers into next year. The city has already furloughed 11 employees and is under a hiring freeze. As for small businesses, Harrisburg has put together $1 million in grant money.
We believe small businesses are the backbone of the city's economy, and we don't want them to go under before we can get back to work.
There is a limit of $10,000 per grant. You can find the link to apply on our website, ABC27.com.
The school district of Lancaster expects to lose more than $3 million because of coronavirus. Most of that loss comes from real estate and earned income tax. Now the district is considering eliminating 23 positions. That includes both administrative and teaching jobs. It's estimated this could save the district a little less than $3 million.
as things occur through the year where there's opportunities to accrue that savings, maybe not filling positions mid-year if they become vacant through either a resignation or a retirement. We would look at that position to say, do we need to fill that now or need to divide those services to other folks to help deliver that service?
The district could also get funding from the state, but it's not known how much.
31 hospitals in the state are now eligible for emergency funding. Governor Wolf today announced $324 million to cover the costs of personnel and equipment during this pandemic. The 4 eligible hospitals in the mid-state are Geisinger Holy Spirit in Camp Hill, Lancaster General Hospital, Lancaster General's Women and Babies Hospital, and Geisinger Lewistown in Mifflin County. Tonight's local healthcare hero is Elnita Pilsitz. She's a nursing supervisor at Norlenco Family Medicine near Elizabethtown. If you have a friend or loved one you want to have honored, go to our website, ABC27.com, and look under the Community tab for honoring healthcare heroes. And coming up tonight, Harrisburg police make a huge drug bust today after 12 months of investigating.